Welcome everyone, I'm Exa. Are you terrified of weird numbers and complicated mechanics, but love violence and bloodshed? Well, fear not, because today I'm going to show you how to really play Noita.
His weapon was far too large to rightfully be called a
Tablet.
It was larger, thicker, heavier, and cruder than any normal.
Writing medium.
By all accounts, it was no more than a hulking mass of
First off. And now the fun begins. Soon, because right now I have no way to fend off the local cave dwellers, zombie dogs, and firemen. Not those firemen, these firemen. So I'm making my way east, just trying not to rack up a debt of $2.5 billion. On my way, I stopped to observe the life of the locals. I saw a man teaching his dogs, I think, and another man receiving instant karma. Soon, I find my one and only legendary weapon. It holds vast knowledge, as you can see, and I'm about to shove all that deep-cutting and mind-blowing knowledge into the heads of the lovely locals. In return, all these kind creatures decide to willingly donate all their life savings so I can keep doing what I love the most. Raising the neighborhood's average intelligence by trimming down whose IQ is below 10 points, so mostly everyone. After I finish my God-given task, I decide to turn into a worm and enter the first portal that takes me to a place where I can catch my breath and replenish my lost health. I also get to choose a perk that will help me through this run, and I just happen to hit the jackpot.
They didn't believe in us. God did.
Invisibility will keep me safe on my way down, at least for now. So I venture forth into the coal pits. Feeling invincible, I decide to taunt a miner by deliberately missing him. And before you accuse me for being high on copium, I also deliberately score a double kill. Now unfortunately, when the innocence blood stained my robe, I become an easy target once again. Good thing I brought with me this unbelievably expensive bathwater I bought back in 2019. Other than this little incident, my unexpected stealth mission goes rather smoothly. I take down some enemies from behind, their friends unaware of any suspicious activity.
Must have been the wind.
I also attempted using my environment as a weapon like any good stealth game allows you to. But, well, it seems like getting hit by a tablet hurts more than getting hit by a radioactive nuclear waste container. After collecting a bit more gold, I decide to hop into the portal at the bottom once again. Unfortunately, the shop is rather useless for me during this run, but at least it means that I can spend more money rerolling perks. Thankfully, I only have to roll once to get a decent upgrade, and with that I continue my journey to the bottom. The snowy depths is where things usually get interesting. New, more dangerous enemies are starting to show up, but thankfully, I'm more than ready to take them on. The only thing I have to worry about is keeping up my invisibility, which is easier said than done. I got into a rather sticky situation when this guy pulled off an impressive dodge while he kept me in place with his rather suspicious white glue. Stripped from my weapon and all my powers nullified, I had to keep a cool head. Making any more mistakes could be fatal, so I took things slowly. I decided to go for my weapon first and then search for some cover. I was lucky enough to get a little help from an unexpected guest.
There was a misinput, calm down! You calm the fuck down!
After regaining the high ground, I took a moment to catch my breath. And then I took revenge, of course. After that, I decided to collect some more gold, trying to guarantee a meaningful upgrade in the shrine. Thankfully, it doesn't take too long since the enemies are dropping more and more gold every floor. Once I'm done, I jump into a portal encased in a pool of blood. I can only hope that this isn't a bad omen.
Full Metal Alchemist! Full Metal Alchemist.
When I arrive, I excitedly run to check if there's anything meaningful offered to me this time. And sure enough, the gods once again smile at me. The Hisi base is just as welcoming as any workplace I ever visited, with terrible work conditions and unnecessary security checks every corner. Thankfully, I can make quick work of the drones for a bit of money. On the other hand, I stumble onto a new problem. These ice walls are standing in my way, and unfortunately I can't break them for some reason. So I decide to turn to my trusty flask of chaotic polymorphine. And as you might have guessed, this won't be the last time, not even close. I also made a little mistake once again when I stood in a pool of oil while being surrounded by multiple enemies. I also happened to catch fire, but thankfully, just as last time, I didn't panic whatsoever. I tried minimizing the damage I take, while I retreated in an extremely calm manner. After I extinguished the fire and retrieved my weapon, I decided that I had enough of this place. It's time to leave. And what's the quickest way? That's right, more polymorphine. At least I thought. From this little montage you can see just how many tries it took. I tried again, and again, and again, and again, and finally I managed to find the exact opposite of what I was looking for. Instead of moving down, I started ascending, and to make things even better, I got stuck in a wall. I thought it might be the end of my run, but thankfully I managed to escape the same way I got there. The small guy saw it and tried chasing me. That was his last bad decision. After taking care of him, I went back to where I was, trying just a couple more times, and finally it happened. It would have been way easier just finding my way down, but I was way too committed. Of course, I managed to get stuck once again, but that's the last obstacle that I have to face on this floor. At this point, I'm about halfway done. There are only 3 more floors remaining, and right before the jungle, I accidentally misclick and throw away my polymorphine. Well, at least I get a chest for my troubles, and it contains spells, of course. And to make things even worse, for some reason I try my luck instead of taking the easy one up, and I have to settle for vomiting rats. To be honest with you, I even forget about it. With that, I enter the underground jungle. I prepare myself for a long and hard journey. I wasted a bit too much gold with that unnecessary reroll, so I have to go on a gold grind once again. Well, at least the jungle is a bit easier to navigate, with more open spaces, meaning if I get into trouble, I have easier time dodging, and I always have a clear escape route. That being said, I still can't doze off. This place is also full of all types of hazards, and... okay. No, fuck that, bye. Alright, it might have been a hasty decision to leave the jungle so early. I'll have to settle with whatever perk I'm going to get. Even though I'm unsure about its usefulness, I end up choosing the Angry Ghost and enter the underground vault. I'm pretty deep already, and I'm unsure which enemies can see me. I even got jump scared when this guy lunged on me, but thankfully I'm still mostly safe, although the sheer amount of enemies is a bit frightening. I even get cornered for a while, just watching them infighting. The ground is on fire, and shots are going everywhere. It takes a while for me to get the courage to leave. The rest of the floor is in a similar situation. I even end up finding someone who can see through my invisibility. I also spend a bunch of time being on fire, and that's when this game starts feeling more like Touhou. That's not a problem though, because I can easily dodge everything that comes my way. But instead of flexing, I decide to play it safe. My first priority is progressing downwards, and meanwhile I only take easy kills. Even when I'm invisible, I have to watch out for my environment, and even though I'm careful, I still get a couple scares. Even some of the easier kills put on a surprising amount of fight. I even meet my worst enemy once again, but I'm not dumb enough to pick a fight with him. Instead, I look for some more easy kills. I kill a couple more bad guys close to the teleporter, and once I'm done, I move on. We are getting pretty close to the finish line now. Still, the hardest part is just around the corner. Luckily, I ended up getting an actually useful chest and a pretty decent perk. All that's left for me to do is to enter the Temple of the Art. And this is where the struggle gets real. Suddenly, there are a couple more enemies who can tell where I am no matter what. My objective is clear. Get the hell out of here as fast as possible. And that's a bit harder than it sounds. At least for me. Usually by now, you'd have a pretty good digging wand. If you wanted to, you could just skip through most of this floor. I unfortunately don't have this luxury, so I keep exploring this floor. As my health slowly but surely decreases, I'm just trying to find the quickest way to the bottom. But I only end up going in circles. The traps on the walls keep shooting me relentlessly. I'm still doing okay, but I'm not sure for how long. I tried killing one of the enemies just to see how long it would take.
First of all, your Jordans are completely fake.
And it took just a bit too long for my liking. Trying to make exploration safer by killing everyone is clearly not an option. So I keep exploring like I did before, getting into more and more trouble along the way, and I don't seem to be making any progress. For some reason, I also hung up on getting this concentrated mana potion that does absolutely nothing for me. Finding dead end after dead end, I begin doubting if there's even a way. As I'm slowly running out of health, I make some reckless decisions, worsening my situation even more. Catching on fire and getting hit a couple times quickly reduces my health to basically zero. I managed to put out the fire in time, but I couldn't possibly avoid what came next.
It's blood. There's a sun. Right here.